guys, let's take a look up. Let's take a look at the board. It says, what do you remember about angles? Okay, so you have your warm-up sheet right here. Please look at your sheet. It's right there, guys. Eden, it's right there. Mariah, do you have yours? Hey guys, I don't want to have to sit here and then come around and then show you where everything is. I mean, we should be able to find it ourselves, all right? Take that little area and then write down what you know or what you remember about angles, okay? Whether it was something that we learned yesterday or something that you learned before, be ready to say something and then let me know something about angles. We got some space right down there. Let's write one or two things down. I'll give you a couple minutes. You have 2 minutes, okay? Eden, are you going to write anything? Or are you going to keep your hands inside your sweater? How are you going to do stuff like that? Remember, a lot of this stuff we went over yesterday, we're reviewing some of the things that we went over yesterday. What do you remember about angles? Okay? These are a little bit of a review of what we did yesterday. Chanel, you finished? How about you, David? Eden, do you have a pencil? Let's go. Let's write something, okay? Too late? Yeah, that's why you got to go during homeroom. First period might be late. You don't need it right now, so you'll be okay. Can you have a seat? Where are you going? So Bella, Kenny, what we're doing is we're reviewing a little bit of what we did yesterday. This might have been stuff that you previously known or something that you learned yesterday. What do you remember about angles? So write on your sheet, write down or jot a couple things down. Write down something that you know about angles or something that you remember. So who wants to help me first? Kenny, what do we know about angles? Give me something. Take a look up here.
That they're either
obtuse angles or acute angles. Hey, raise your hand if you remember what an acute angle is. Raise your hand if you remember what an acute angle is. Okay, so what is it? What do we know about acute angles, Kenny?
that they're
Less than. Good. Less than 90 degrees, right? So that's going to be the main thing. It's going to be less than 90 degrees. So raise your hand if you can remember what a right angle is. So Mariah knows what a right angle is. Nobody else remembers what a right angle is? Chanel remembers. Eden remembers. Kenny. Mariah, what's a right angle? 90 degrees. Perfect. Obtuse angles. Raise your hand if you know what an obtuse angle is. David, what do we have an obtuse angle?
Is greater than 90.
Good. Greater than 90 degrees. All right, hey, and all these things are what we looked at yesterday, right? What is it? How many degrees is a straight line? Who remembers how many degrees a straight line is? Bella, you remember? Look at your sheets. You might be able to figure it out. What do we have, Brian? 100 degrees. What is this square at the corner right here? What does that mean? What does that mean, guys? Does anybody know what that means? So sometimes these right angles that are 90 degrees, they're not going to write 90 degrees. They're just going to put a box around here. What does that box mean? The box means that it is what? 90 degrees. Okay? Okay? Is this obtuse? Is it greater than 90 degrees? Remember, that's 90 degrees right there. Is it greater than 90? Does it go further than 90? Yes, so that's obtuse. And this is the same one, guys. This one's hard to see, but that one goes straight there. So is that greater than 90? Okay, so all of those will be obtuse, and they'll be your straight line. Okay? Do we have any questions here? Any questions? Are we okay? So let's take a look at what we're doing today. We will be... So today we're going to extend what we know. We learned about angles. Okay, so we're going to learn about complementary angles, adjacent angles, and supplementary angles today. Okay, so we're going to use complementary, supplementary, and adjacent angle relationships to write and solve equations for unknown angles. Okay, so there's going to be an unknown, and we're going to learn about complementary and supplementary, and we're going to be able to have to solve for those. Okay? All right, guys, so here we go. So let's take a look right here. It says, what do you notice about complementary angles? What do you notice about supplementary angles? So this is going to be what we have. That's going to be what we call a complementary angle. Okay? And this is going to be a supplementary angle. So before we go into it, before we go into me telling you what a complementary supplementary angles are, what do we notice about this? So take a look at this for a second. That'll be a complementary. Take a look at this for a second. Okay? So what this is saying is these two angles are complementary. And what this is saying is these two angles are supplementary. Okay? Remember, one angle can't be complementary and one angle can't be supplementary. There has to be a pair or more than one. It's got to be more than one. Okay? So what do we notice about that? We'll just look at the complementary. And again, there's no wrong answers here. It's just what do you know? What you can you read? What do you notice, Kenny? The three, okay? So when Kenny says 3 lines, that's one angle, right? Okay? And then this here is angle number 2, right? They're connected by, what we called that yesterday? Vertex. Perfect, Chanel. So they're connected by a vertex, right? So we have angles. What we talked about. Do we notice anything else? What else do we notice? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you if you don't notice it. What we have that right down there. What does that mean right there? We just talked about that. What does that mean? Look at your notes that we just took. What does that box mean? The box means it's 90 degrees. Okay? The box means it's 90 degrees. And if I add 54 and 36, what do I get? Can somebody add those two together for me? 54 and 36. We get 90, right? So if I do a 54 plus 36, it equals 90 degrees. Just like that box tells me. Okay? How about supplementary? What do we notice for supplementary? Guys, what point is this right here? That's the what? Vertex. That's the vertex. How many angles do we have here?
2.
We have 2 angles. We have this angle right here, and then we'll have this angle right there. What do we notice about supplementary? Hint, angle measures. Just like we did the complementary. What do we notice? Mariah, you answered this a while ago. That's a what? That's a straight line, right? How many degrees is a straight line? She says it's 180. That's 180 degrees, right? Eden, do that for me. Do the math for me. 131 plus 49. What do we got? 180. All right, do we see something now? Okay, so we're going to get more into this, but I know that a complementary angle is 90 degrees, and I know supplementary add up to what? 180. So complementary angles add up to 90. They add up to 90, and supplementary angles add up to 180. Okay? So here we go. Please look at your sheets. Take a look at that. Kenny, can you read the complementary angles for me? What does it say? Okay, they add up to 90. So a lot of times you're going to see this. You'll see this, and that it's an angle. Okay? That's just showing that it's an angle. But right here in the corner, what does that tell me? That this is how many degrees? 90 degrees. Okay? And it's talking about complementary angles. Can that be one angle? Bella, can it be one? How many do we have here? Do we have one or more than one? More than one. Okay? So complementary angles, can they be one? Yes or no? Can I have one angle to make complementary angles? No, I need at least two or more. Okay, and we have right here, we have how many? We have two, right? We have two. So if I add them up, take a look here. If I take the first one and I add them up, what am I going to get? Eden? Use your calculator. 90, right? Does that make sense for everyone? Yes? Hand up if it makes sense. We're okay, Mariah? So remember, complementary angles, they add up to 90 degrees. How about, let's look at supplementary angles. Mariah, what is supplementary angles? Can you read that for me right here? Measures. 180 degrees. So when I think of supplementary angles, what do I have to have? Here I have to have a box, right? Telling me it's 90. What do I have to have here? Perfect, David. David said I have to have a straight line. I have to have a straight line because that's the 180 degrees. Okay? And how many angles do we have here? How many angles do we have here? We have two. And those two have to add up to what? 180. So if we do a 165 plus 15, that's going to be 180 degrees. Okay? Is that okay, Mariah? You mad at complementary and supplementary? Okay. Bella, how are you looking? Do you understand? So, I need to do that. So, remember, whatever we have here always is going to add up to 180 for supplementary. So this is that review. This is what we just talked about. Complementary adds up to 90 degrees. Supplementary adds up to 180 degrees. Let's take a look at this video.
This is an L measure of angles, which are 90 degrees. 90 degrees are found everywhere in buildings, against in doorways, on the floor. Sometimes in the real world, two angles join together to form a right angle. Other times, two angles join together to form a straight angle. These two angles together form a right angle. Call them complementary. They equal 90 degrees. This step is a great example of two angles that form a straight line. These two angles are called supplementary because together they add up to 180 degrees. It's confusing because complementary and supplementary sound alike. I have 3 ways to help you remember them. Don't feel like you have to memorize all 3 ways. Pick the one that makes the most sense for you and remember that one.
So this is what she's saying. Complementary is how many degrees, guys? 90. Supplementary is what? But what happens sometimes is what she's talking about on the test, we'll think a complementary, instead of saying 90 degrees, what we might think? We might think 180 instead of 90. Okay? And when you look at the test, that's going to be on the test. It'll be in the 91 and the 180 because it's trying to make sure that you understand it correctly, right? So she's just giving us ways to remember which one's complementary, which one's supplementary.
In the alphabet, the letter C for complementary comes before the letter S for supplementary. And in a number line, 90 comes before 180. So C complementary goes with 90 degrees, and S supplementary goes with 180 degrees. A corner is a 90-degree angle, and a corner is complementary, C for C. A straight angle equals 180 degrees, and supplementary angles are straight angles, S for S. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. The word complementary has one P in it. If I take that P and turn it around, it looks like a 9. Put a 0 on it and it's 90. Complementary is 90 degrees. The word supplementary has 2 P's in it. Turn those P's around and they're 9s. Add your zeros to the end. 90 plus 90 equals 180. Supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees.
Hey, and how I just like to remember it is complementary is first. C is before S, right? 90 is before 180. That's what she's talking about.
How goes it because it's different?
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Let me reopen that back up. Okay. So here we go. So now we're going to find angle measures. Okay, we're going to be able to work out what we know. Let's look at this. It says point P is on line M. Find the value of A. Okay, everybody see this on their sheet? So we're finding the value of A. What do I know this equals?
180.
We know that this is, let me go backwards. Is this going to be complementary or is this going to be supplementary?
Supplementary.
Supplementary. Why do we know, how do we know it's supplementary? It's a straight line. So since that's a straight line right here, I know that's going to be supplementary. Okay? How many angles do we have? Mariah, how many angles do I have up here? How many angles make up this line right here? Nope. That's the number of degrees. How many angles do we have, Mariah? Look, 1. Oh, you can say the line is 1 and the other one is 2. Okay? So I'm going to have these 2 angles right here. This is 1 angle right here, Mariah. Right? And there's another angle. There's 2. Remember, and they're connected by the what? The vertex. Okay? So we're going to take a look. Eden, eyes up for me, please. What I know is this number plus this Remember this angle. We just did that in the example. We had the two numbers, right? But here, variable equals, what does it equal, Kenny? Supplementary is how many? 180. Okay. Does everybody see how I got that? Okay. This angle plus this angle equals straight line. And we've done these one-step equations for 5 months, 4 months. What's the first thing I do? I have to isolate the x. What do I have to do? You could draw that line, okay? And now I got to put the a by itself. So what do I have to do to the 134? Okay, good. I'm going to subtract the 134. So I do it on both sides. Remember, I'm going to do it on both sides of that line. Those will cancel out. A equals, Eden, give me an answer. 180 minus 134. 46. Thank you, Eden. So that's 46 degrees. So what I'm going to do is, Chanel, I'm going to put the 46 right here. And I know this number and that number have to equal what? 180. Because they're supplementary angles. Okay? That number plus that number is 180. And real quick, so we're talked about complementary and supplementary. There's one more. So if we look at this, there's something they call adjacent angles. Okay? Adjacent angles just mean that they're right next to each other. Everybody hear what I just said? Adjacent angles just mean they share the same vertex. So this one, this angle, this 134 degree angle, and the 46 degree angle are adjacent. There's no numbers along with adjacent. So there's no calculations that we do. They're just saying it's just right next to each other. So what kind of angles do we have right here? Eden, can you help me what kind of angle we have here? What does this big angle make? A right angle. A right angle. So if I have a right angle, how many degrees is it? 90. So am I going to use complementary or am I going to use the supplementary? Complementary. What's up, Kenny? Yeah, go ahead. So it's complementary. Complementary, Eden says, is 90 degrees. Eden told me it's 90 degrees. So somebody help me with the equation. What equation am I going to have to write up here? David, what do we have? 44 plus b equals 90. Perfect. Perfect. And remember, whatever you do on one side of the equal, you have to do on the other. Inverse operations. What's the opposite of positive 44? Negative 44. Those will cancel out, and I'm going to do the negative 44 on this side. What do I do with the b? I just do what? The b, I'm just going to bring it down, drop it down. What's 90 minus 44? 46. So that's 40. So this one right here is 46 degrees. They happen to be the same number, right? Hey, and we can always, guys, listen, you can always go back and check by adding those two numbers and making sure they equal 90. You can always go back and check by adding those two numbers and making sure they equal 180. Okay, so there's our answers right there. Who feels comfortable with this? Are we okay? Eden, how you looking? Okay? Mariah, are we looking okay? Good. Bella? Yes? All right, guys. So it says, find the missing angle. Okay? Hey, tell me what you notice. Okay? Look at this right now. Just tell me what you notice. We don't have to work it out right now. Just please tell me what you notice. Chanel, what do we notice? So, okay, Chanel says there are 3 angles. What, this one? This one, this one? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, Chanel says there's 3 angles. What else do we notice? So Chanel says there's 3 angles. What else do we notice, David?
Both each side like 90 degrees.
So David says that each side looks like it's 90 degrees. So he's saying that this side looks like it's 90. Is that what you mean? Okay. Good. Do we notice anything else? Eden, do you notice anything? Eyes up for me, buddy. Anything else? Chanel. She says, so she says we can use supplementary and complementary. Do we see the straight line here, Kenny? Where's the straight line? Huh? The letter A? This one or this one? This one? So this is our straight line, Kenny's out. Right? So we see several things. Now let's see how we can figure this one out. Does anyone have any suggestions first? What do you have, Mariah? Mariah said 90 minus 51. Why do you say 90 minus 51? Say it louder. You're probably right. Be calm. So Mariah says 90 minus 51. Do we agree or disagree with what Mariah said? Let's write the equation. Let's write the equation. Okay? How can we write the equation? Remember, we just wrote 2 equations, right? Let's look at this and let's write the equation. Kenny, I hear it. Say it for me. Kenny said 51 plus A equals 180. Is that correct? Are we sure? Mariah, what do you have? Okay, so we got A plus 51 equals 90. So we have 2 conflicting equations. And this, I'm glad that you guys said it like this, because this is the common mistake that a lot of people are going to make. This is a very common mistake that a lot of people are going to make. What did we say this was right here? David, did you say it? That both look like 2 right angles. This is going to be 90. So this is right here is going to be 90. And this right here is going to be what? 90. So if that total thing is 90, what am I going to have to do? That's a set of what kind of angles? Complementary or supplementary? Complementary. So this whole set right here is complementary. So if that's complementary, I don't need to worry about this side right now. I don't have to worry about that side. The only reason I had to use this side is because I had to make sure that this was a right angle. So David took the first step. So if David didn't recognize that this is a right angle as well, we wouldn't have known. So this part right here is shown for this. And we're going to write we'll write 2 equations. Let's use the one that Mariah gave us, because this one's 90. I'm going to go back and we'll figure out this. What do we do? The opposite of adding 51? Add to both sides. Cancel A. What do we got? 90 minus 51. What do you got, Mariah? Okay. So we use complementary angles there to figure this out. Now let's go back. I'm going to erase it. Does everyone have that? I'm going to go backwards, and I'm going to try the different way. David, what do you say this was? 90 degrees. What do we know this says? Who told me it was a straight line? Kenny told me it was a straight line. So now with a straight line, what am I using? Complementary or am I using supplementary? Supplementary. So with supplementary, I'm going to take A. Hey guys, remember a while ago, and we've only had an example where there are two angles that make complementary or supplementary, but there can be multiple. There could be more than one. I said there has to be at least how many? At least two, but there could be more. So look, A plus 51 plus 90 equals, what does that equal? It equals that straight line, right? 1, 2, 3. We go all the way around right there, and that's that straight line right here. So if it's a straight line, how many degrees is it? 180. Okay? Eden, what do we have here? 51 plus 90. 51 plus 90. Somebody help, somebody help, somebody help. 51 plus 90, what do we got? 141. So now I'm going to do that same thing. Okay? Draw that line right down the middle. What's the opposite of positive 141? Negative 141. Okay? Cancel out negative 141 here. 180 minus negative 141. 39. Hey, did I get it the same way? I got it the same way. So I can use complementary angles here, or I can use supplementary angles there to find the answer. So, hey, and the best part about this, guys, is you could do it whichever way is the most comfortable. Whichever way you think is the easiest is the way that you should probably go. Okay? Sometimes you're not able to see multiple. Sometimes you only have one choice. But if you have more than one choice, you could do it either way. Again, complementary is how many degrees? 90. Supplementary angles are how many degrees? 180. Complementary angles, remember it's a right angle, and supplementary angle is a straight line. Okay? So let's take a look at this next example. I hope this next example we can kind of think through this one. Kenny, you mind reading it for me?
Select an equation that
Okay, so hey, we're looking and we're trying to find the angles in the figure. Okay, select the equation. We're trying to make the equation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a second to take a look at it, and then we'll see what we can do. Okay? Give you maybe 10, 15 seconds just to process it. So you have to see which equation correctly represents the relationship. Which equation correctly represents the relationship? You got it, Eden? First of all, the first thing we need to do is, Bella, is that going to be complementary or supplementary if we have a straight line? Say it. You, be confident. You can look at your notes. Look at your notes. If we have a straight line, what do we have? So take a look. If we have a straight line, what do we have? Huh? Say it loud. No? Look. Straight line is what? Supplementary. Okay? Hey, so we have supplementary here, right? So what number do we have to have? 180. And all of these have 180. Okay? Or not all of those have 180. That one has 90. So Eden, if that one has 90 and that's supplementary, is that going to be an option choice? That's not going to be an option choice. Okay? So we have 3 different choices. Can you guys figure out what you think that could be? Figure out what you think it is, and from there, we'll talk about it, we'll work through it, and then we'll see what we can get. David, you think you got it? Eden, did you get it? Let's write it down. Make sure you write it down. Chanel, you got it? Mariah, how are we looking over there? All right, so let's take a look. Now, this didn't say solve it, but we'll solve it at the end. It just says which equation. Which equation do you have? Do I see a hand? Who wants to volunteer? Chanel, where we at? Which one? You think it's A? Chanel thinks it's A. Does anybody agree with Chanel? Chanel, how many B's do we have up there? So how many angles do we have? 3. How many angles do we have right here? 1. So what do you think? Well, I don't want you to just now think about it for a second. So if it's 1 and that's 3, that might not be the best choice, right? What do you have, David? So David said it's B. So we have B, remember, plus B equals what? That's straight line, right? So we have B plus B plus B equals 180 degrees. So who agrees or disagrees with B? You agree or disagree? Agree? Eden, what did you get, Eden? Huh? Head up for me, okay? How about, so we figured out it's not A. How about D? Is D an option? Go ahead, Mariah. What do you have? So, hey, anytime we have variables, can we combine like terms? Remember in our expressions unit when we combine like terms? Are these all like terms? How many B's is that, Mariah? Now how many do I have? Now how many do I have? 3 B. Hey, remember, guys, in front of a variable there could be a 1, right? Just think of that. 1B, 2B, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then drop the B down. Equals 180 degrees. What do we think about that? Is that the same? Well, that's the same. That's the same. So we have two choices. Okay? So let's solve for it now. Let's solve for it. How do we solve for that if it's 3b equals 180? What's our options? Inverse operation. Are we adding, subtracting, dividing, or multiplying here? When a letter is right next to something, what do? We are multiplying. So inverse operation, instead of multiplying by 3, what's the inverse? By what? Perfect, Eden. Thank you. Divided by 3. Okay? That's how we get rid of that and isolate B. B equals, can somebody give me an answer? 180 divided by 3. What do we got, Bella? 60 degrees. Now, this is how we check it. Okay? I have 60 degrees. I could remember B 60. So I could say that's 60. I could say that's 60. I could say that's 60. Right? What does it have to equal? That straight line, Chanel, is 180. Chanel told us the straight line is 180. So add 60 plus 60 plus 60. What do we get, Mariah? Mariah, what do we get? 180. So I know I'm right now, right? I know I'm right because the 60, 60, 60 is 180, and that line is 180 degrees. Okay. What do we think, guys? Difficult, easy, moderate? Moderate? Okay. Eden, what do you think? Easy? How about Chanel? You okay with it? Good. So what I want you to do is, hey, I don't want you to solve right away. What I want you to do is, we're working this out, and I want you to write me an equation, and I want you to solve for it. Okay? So I'm going to have you work with the person next to you. David, you work with Eden. Chanel, you work with Kenny. And Bella, you work with Mariah. We're going to take these two. I need two equations. I need you to solve for it. So work them out and make sure you check it off with your partner right next to you to make sure everything's okay. Let's go, Eden. I need two equations right here, okay? Give me two equations right there. Give me the equations. Right? But write me the equations though. Because, hey guys, the equations are very important right now because the numbers may be easy right now, but when the numbers get more difficult, the equations are going to be more important than the answer itself. Because we can't get to the answer if we can't write the equation. Write me two equations right here, Eden. Write the equation.
You have an equation then, 1 plus 1.
Yeah. Good. Good. Now you got to solve for it for me. Okay? Solve. Good. All right, let's take a couple more minutes. Did you get the equation for me? I need the equation. The answer is fantastic, and I'm glad you can do that, but I need you to write that equation for me. Okay? Chanel, you got it? Chanel. Good job. You like this, huh? Sorry. All right, guys. I think almost everybody's wrapping it up right now. So let's take a look at this. It says write an equation and solve for each missing value. First of all, what I want you to do is what kind of angles is the first figure? So David says it's supplementary. So he says these are supplementary. David, how do you know that those are supplementary?
It's a straight line.
It's a straight line? Well, but we know that that's a straight line too, though, right? How do we know that it's supplementary? Can you go further? Which one is a straight line? Which one? Are you talking about the line or the bottom? Line?
A straight line always means 100.
Okay, so he says a straight line always makes 180, and I know this angle plus this angle makes that straight line, right? Good. You have my equation for me? Over here? What's the equation? Right here. You gonna come back to you? I'm gonna come back to you on the next one then. Chanel, help me out. And we could do it either way. She said 77. These two equal the 80, right? So go ahead. Plus y equals 180 degrees. And 180 because we know it's supplementary. Remember that. Since we know they're supplementary, we're able to do that. You need this area? Okay. Everybody understand that? So what do we do, Chanel? Okay, so Chanel said, we're going to break that in half, and what do we do next? Okay, opposite of positive 77 is negative 77. Is that it? Other side. Now what? Those will cancel out. What do we have? One, how much? 103. 103 degrees. So remember, if you need to check, put the 103 right down here, and I can add those two together, and what they have to equal?
180.
180. I can add those two together, they have to equal to 180. Okay? So, what angle, what would this be? Complementary or will it be supplementary? We'll come back to you, you know that, right? Mariah, is it complementary or supplementary? 90 degrees, so it's what? Complementary or supplementary? Complementary. Good, Mariah. Complementary. Eden, we're back to you. Give me the equation. 62 plus x. Well, equals, okay, equals what? 90 degrees, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay, what do we do now? Okay. Minus 62. On both sides, okay. Those will cancel out. What does x equal? 28. So again, if you're not sure, put that 28 here. Add those two together. What should it equal, Eden? 90. What is this, Kenny? What does this box mean right here? That means it's 90 degrees. Okay? Anytime you see that box, we can write that as 90 degrees. What do we think about complementary, supplementary? Okay? Mariah, you said it's easy? Good. I'm glad you think it's easy. Okay? All right. So what I want you to do is this. Once you figure this out, I need to see, guys, listen, well, I need to see the equation, okay? Please write the equation, solve for it. Once you figure it out, raise your hand, and I'm going to come take a look, okay? It says find the value of G. So I'm looking for G right here, okay? Let's go. Okay. David, you finished? You finished? You can raise your hand. You have the equation? Good. Good job, David. Good job. Good job, David. Good job, Chanel. Good job, Kenny. Oh, Eden. Good job, buddy. So this is what we're going to do now, okay? Hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a worksheet, and we are going to answer number 2, and we are going to answer number 5. So 2 and 5 on the worksheet, okay? Let me go ahead and hand this out to you. This is going to be independent, so we're going to look at our worksheet. Answer questions 2 and 5. So we're going to do number 2 and we're doing number 5, okay? Please look at that. We're doing number 2 and number 5. We're going to do 2 and number 5. Here, I'll read the directions for you guys. It says, Elena and Diego each wrote equations to represent these diagrams. For each diagram, decide which equation you agree with and solve for it. You can assume that angles that look like right angles are indeed right angles. Okay? So you'll see a figure. There's going to be 2 equations. See which one you agree with, and then we'll solve it. Okay? We're doing 2 and 5, guys. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. I'll be happy to come help you, okay? Did you do 2? You want to solve for it. Make sure you solve for it. Okay? Have you done 2? So see which one looks right, and then we're going to solve for it. Okay? Solve for the W. you finish tuition? We gotta solve for it now. Okay, tell me what W equals. Okay, that one looks correct. Now we have to just tell me what W equals, solve for it, okay? For supplementary, you looking? Oh, that's a straight line, right? So that one plus that one plus that one equals what? What's a straight line? Well, you take a look at that whole thing. You take a look at the whole thing. So this plus this do we equal 180? No. No, this is what you did. That's a 41 out of 44.
Oh,
Okay. Kenny, are you finished? See what you got. Did you solve for it? I need to tell me what W is. Tell me what X is. That's what you have to do. Okay? Hey guys, this is what it's going to look like on the test. It's going to look something like this. You had it right. Look. That's what. Write that down and solve for W. Okay? What was your question? Well, I need you to get into the habit of writing it down, okay? Because like I said, right now, it's not that difficult. The math is not as difficult, but later the numbers become to a point where it becomes hard. That one's correct, yes. What is W equals? So if you know W, what is X?
50.
Good. Good. Like you're smart enough to figure that out, but make sure that you put it. Make sure you put it in an equation for me, okay? I mean, a lot of yours is mental math, right? A lot of yours is mental math. You got it? Okay, 139 minus 35. Good. That's it. W equals what? Good. That's perfect. Perfect. Good. So if you do number 5 now. Okay? Hey, we're running a little bit low on time, so I'm going to give you another minute to figure it out. Good, W, that's right for W. Good job. Now you got to find X. Eyes up now. Let me go over real quick. I think a lot of you guys almost everybody got the first one right. So this plus 35 plus W plus 1 equals what do we here? 180. What kind of angles are those? If it's a straight line, what kind of angles do we have? No? What kind of angles are they? They are complementary or supplementary? 180 degrees? So they're supplementary angles, right? Remember, 90 degrees is complementary, 180 is supplementary. So look, I'm going to add these two together. So we're going to get 76 plus W equals 180. Subtract 76 on both sides, right? W equals 104. Okay, everybody see that? Remember, straight line is supplementary. 90 degrees is going to be complementary. Let me look at number 5 now. Now 5 is like a 2 or 3 steps. Okay, so you gotta work, you gotta be able to see it because sometimes it's gonna be confusing. I'm gonna use this line first. Okay? If I use that line first, what do we know? These two angles have to be, what kind of angles are these? Kenny, you got it. What is it? Complementary or supplementary angles? Hey, remember 180, 90 degrees equals complementary, 180 equals supplementary. Okay? So I know W plus 148 equals 180. Okay? So if I subtract 148 on each side, I'm going to get W equals 32. So I got this as 32 degrees now. Okay? Because this plus this is a straight line, which equals 180 degrees. Now I know, look, so I'm going to erase that now. I got that. I know that that's a straight line now. So that's how many degrees if it's a straight line? 180 degrees. This one's 90. So this one has to be what? This one has to be 90 as well. So now I could take 90 minus the 32, 90, or I'll do this, I'm sorry. 32 plus x equals 90. Right? That plus that equals 90. So subtract 32 on each side. X equals, what did you get, Kenny? 58. Did everybody understand that? Now, hey guys, this is what we're going to test. We're not going to see just energy. We'll see something like this where you have to take 2 or 3 ideas and put it together. Please make sure you have that. Do we have any questions? So let's take a look. Today what we did was we used complementary, supplementary, and adjacent angles, and what do? We found those relationships if we had to write and solve equations for unknown angles. Okay, remember complementary is how many degrees? Complementary is how many degrees? 90. Supplementary is how many degrees? 180 degrees. Okay? Now, our big mistake that we're making, and I've just seen it just now, or we're not remembering that complementary is 90 and supplementary is 180. That's where you're going to make your mistakes. Okay? Be able to isolate the line and then these two angles. Because take a look right here. I'm going to erase this. But if we look right here, all of these are supplementary. Look at how many angles are supplementary. How many angles are that right there? 1, 2, 3, 4. All those 4 add up to 180. You could take any line and do that. Take a look at this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 add up to 180. These 2 add up to 180. So wherever you can find it, that's what we want to do. These 2 angles add up to 90 because I have this right here. That's blocked. And these 2 add up to 90. Okay? So make sure that you're looking at those carefully so that we're not making mistakes. Anybody have a question? No questions? Eden, complementary is how many degrees? Complementary is how many degrees? 90. Mariah, supplementary is how many degrees? 180. Okay? All right. Write the equation and solve for the equation, guys. Okay? All right. So that's going to be it for today.